All right. Welcome back to another episode of Different Walk Serious Talks. This is a podcast featuring honest conversations from four different ladies coming from different stages in life and different backgrounds. You're here with Keisha, Autumn, Farah, and myself, Jessica. And today we're going to be talking about uh, the impact of technology on relationships. So, do you think there's credence to digital infidelity, where a partner can form an intimate connection with somebody they've never really met? And is that really cheating? I in relationships, the ethical implications of people falling in love with chatbots, and will that help them to form the connection they need with other people, or will it hurt? And do you care to make parts of your life tech free? Is that an impact on your relationships?
I
I wanna
also think
see
it's
it.
important to highlight something that I think what Autumn brings up is that how do we use technology? And are we using technology or is technology using us? Right? Like I know, um, I don't want to say I know, but I believe in China they do limit the kind of stuff that you can see. That's why when they tried to block what was it, like TikTok, there was like a Chinese version, and then you had like Asian or Chinese people and American people talking for the first time because the Chinese government is very like protective. They're very like restrictive, right? And they're like, we're not gonna let you just take in a whole lot of that American propaganda and blah blah blah. So when we met on that,
Did you know what they doing now? They blocking
they block a lot of our
OnlyFans.
stuff, honestly, because I think a difference. I think
Is it because it's too ratchet?
I think it's just because of the content. You know, they just don't want that
It's
kind of freak
modesty.
nastiness
They
over
have
there.
a lot
But
more
I think what's
focus on
important
modesty.
is, I think a clear
Gotcha.
distinction is they use technology as opposed to here. Oftentimes we let technology use us. And I don't even want to say let, it's designed to use us. It's designed to keep us addicted. It's designed to keep us, it's
So it's like
not
symbiotic?
symbiotic, it's parasitic. It's using you. Well,
Oh,
here's
that's
the thing. I
terrible.
think there's a common conception in like Silicon Valley, right? Where they're coming up with all the latest and greatest things. They say like make it fast and break stuff. So they're not worried about the end result. They're worried
What?
about how can we get people addicted? How can we get people to use? How can we get people to buy and pay for? And if things get broken along the way, oh well, we'll fix it on the back end. But the problem is it's a real
It's
girl, it's a
terrible.
real thing and it's a part of the culture. We just want to make it fast. We want to make sure we have users. There's not a lot of corporate spaces. Well, they're not worried
Quality?
about quality.
You
Well,
remember
you
when
can't
stuff
make
used to
something
be quality? Like you
well,
used to have a television for like 20 years?
you you have to think
Crazy.
about it like this. If you make something that's going to last 20 years, then you only have a customer
Yes.
once every 20 years.
They're gonna
If
have
you make something
maintenance.
that's
That's
gonna
what you make maintenance for.
No, that's the whole point. If you make something well enough, you don't need a lot of you're not going to sell a lot of maintenance. You're not going to sell the item more than once. So you need to make something that will break. That will
That's why
need
you have to get a
maintenance.
new phone
That
every couple of
will
years
that
because the
will need
software messes up.
Yes. So they
That's
stopped
terrible.
supporting. So with anything, with routers, with phones, with tons of stuff, they have a limited time that they're going to sell something. They allow
Barbie
a certain
stuff.
number of bugs. They don't start from scratch. They start from the last product that they had. So the new product that they put out has the old bugs. So they generally don't start things from scratch. So if you look at most, like, let's say, router companies, if you get a brand new router, that router will probably only be sold for 2 to 3 years. And then it's only going to be supported
Like
for
our
maybe six
washer
or
and
seven
dryer.
years. Like our washer from a large company that we've had just over 2 years. Right after the 2 years expired,
Yeah.
the washer died.
That I think there's a
And they
phrase
So
don't
for
make
that
it
it's
too.
anymore.
I want to say it's like
yeah.
manufactured. What is it called? Um, God, no, I can't think of it. There's a phrase for it, but basically they make it to break, so you have to buy it again. But it's called like manufactured obsolescence. Like they make it so it's going to have to be obsolete, and then you have to do it again. That way they have repeat.
Well, joke's on them because I
I know
learned how
that's
to hand
right.
wash.
But what I'm talking about though specifically is how social media and the internet and the stuff, it makes it so that we are addicted and that it elicits big responses from us. And oftentimes the big responses come from something negative. Because when you post stuff online, oftentimes the stuff that gets the biggest reaction is negative stuff because the people that are happy living their lives aren't taking the time to post all that stuff online. right? So when you were talking about being surrounded by things that are happening like in the manosphere or the battle between, what do you say, the battle between the sexes, War of the Roses, that kind of thing, that's because it gets a big reaction from us. And then the algorithm keeps pushing it. So then you're surrounded by this echo chamber of a lot of negativity. But if you make it a point to use technology instead of it using you, because it's made to use you, it's made to manipulate you and keep you sucked in. But we have to be, in my opinion, very intentional about what we're consuming. Yes,
You have to
very
be mindful.
mindful.
Yes,
So,
I
and
do agree. It's like what you put in your body is
what you're putting
important
in
just
your
as much as
mind,
what you put
what
in
you're
your brain.
observing with
And
your
what you,
eyes, and what you're
yeah,
listening to.
yes, all that is
So right
very important.
now, I
Yes,
feel like we're living in a
yes.
culture where, again, a lot of the negative voices are what's highlighted, what's amplified, and then we're taking it in. So it's like a mirror of ourselves, but it's like the worst version of ourselves. And then we take that in and then we actually internalize it and then we spew it back out and it becomes this vicious cycle that only gets amplified, right? Unless we're very intentional
Hmm.
about saying, when I'm making connections with people, I'm purposely giving them my attention. I'm purposely taking it offline and pouring into them, right? I'm prioritizing those human connections that cannot be felt through a screen. And I think by having so much of an online presence and living online, like truly living online, where everything has to be documented, you do open up a space where there are more miscommunications. Because let's say I'm with someone and I post a story and I choose a song because it sounds catchy, and then my spouse says, "Why'd you pick that song? Are you trying to say there's something wrong?" Was that a dig at me? No, I just like the melody. I didn't even listen to the lyrics. But that's a new potential way for us to have a miscommunication. So I think you have to just be super intentional. I think sometimes the technology can get in the way of us just really being human and connecting. So be mindful with those spaces and cultivate spaces that actually make you feel good, right? And take time to disconnect from the technology and just connect with people. Just connect with those that actually matter to you.
And I understand where you're coming from, Keisha, but I think wishful thinking, that all sounds good, but I think the damage is done in a way, and it seems it's not repair. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not repairable, but
It's a
it's
very
a
steep hill.
steep hill
It's a very
to
steep
go
hill.
up, steep hill. And the reason why I say that, I've encountered some guys I've been trying to socialize with and listen to all this stuff. But I don't apply it to my life, right? And I'll have conversations with people. I'll sit back and listen to them, and their conversations is just diluted. And I know how it got diluted. I'm like, oh, there's no need to further communicate
Okay.
with these
I think
kinds
a
of
lot.
people because
So a lot of these people though are using the internet as their source material. And I think that is
But we still
very
have
much a
libraries.
big issue. Right. It doesn't matter. They're not looking at the CDC website for this information. They're looking at some TikToker, right? They're not looking at psychology websites. They're looking at their favorite person on Instagram. So and they're not looking at real
Just
statistics.
reels.
They're looking at their favorite YouTubers statistics that they're spouting out. So the
and
person
they and they
who
and they
is
and they ingest it.
and they
They
internalize
ingest
and
it.
ingest that, right?
Yes.
And so the unfortunate part about that is that if we use just what we see on these shorts and on these podcasts as our source material when nobody is actually referencing that source material, then we're not getting true statistics, and we're also internalizing things that may or may not actually be true. We're listening to whoever is the loudest. And sometimes that stuff can be negative stuff. Just like when we've been talking about the battle of the sexes, right? We talk about some stuff that really isn't the battle of the sexes. It's just what's being put out there as like a huge issue between the sexes. I really don't see down on the ground where men are experiencing tons of women who are going out on a date dressed inappropriately. But if you look online, if you Google women dressed
I
inappropriately on a
just told
date,
you
you would
I haven't even made it out to the first
correct,
date. I have
correct.
not
But
even made it out to
that's
the
just
first
a
date and
that's just an
socialized
example,
on
right?
them with
These are
them, you
people who
know,
are
their frame of mind is just
yes, their frame of
is
mind is
skewed.
impacted by what they're taking in online. These are a lot of
Exactly.
people, these aren't even their firsthand experiences. They're taking what they've seen online and then making that their
No,
stand.
that's not always the case. The last guy that I spoke with, and we was on the phone for like 2 hours, and it was a great conversation, you know. But I knew he had this mentality that I would not be able to mesh well with him because he said, "Well, I took this girl out on a date, and you know, she asked for this, and I said no because you know I don't think that's what I need to be doing, and you know that's what's been going on lately, and this is," and I'm like.
Yeah.
And I'm just listening, right? So basically, he's taking that experience, what he's been internal you listening to, okay? He's had firsthand experience. Now he's going to think every dating experience is going to be like what he listened to and experienced. So
Well,
I'm
we
like,
get those
okay.
comments on our videos, right? So like
You know
And
what?
that's a perfect
we
example.
Why
tend
not
to, we
just
tend to
wipe
get
every
those
experience
comments
you've
on our
had before
videos.
that first day out? I mean, I guess it's easier for me than a lot of people. I can't remember what I did on the first date with the last person because I can't even remember what I did with them
Yeah,
yesterday.
but
So
you've told us before that you are impacted by previous relationships you had, right? Even if you don't remember the specific thing that happened, you're impacted going forward, and your behavior sometimes change based on that. And that's perfectly fine. But what happens a lot of times is that even with your date, right? With Autumn, he had an experience, right?
to the date. She said she had the conversation and she
Or they
said,
didn't
"No,
even
I'm
make it to
done,"
the date,
which
right?
I applaud, by
She
the
had
way. You're using discernment.
exactly. Eh,
Kudos.
fantastic. And that's the thing that's funny is that it's possible that he overreacted based upon the thing that he heard online. So maybe she didn't even really ask him for tons of stuff, and then he was like, "Oh no, I'm not doing that." We could like I said, we there's stuff on one of our videos. I said that I didn't have a lot of things that I require of a man, but I want him to be intelligent and kind. And one of the things that somebody put on there was, "Are you intelligent and kind?" With the
Damn.
wide
Yes.
eyes.
Yes, you are.
And I said, "Yes," because I feel like I
To
strive
my
to be
knowledge.
intelligent and kind, right? To my knowledge, I feel like I'm pretty intelligent. I have a bit of evidence that I'm intelligent, and I strive to be kind. But how is
Such
that
a
a
strange thing.
problem?
That's such a
Why
strange
would
thing
that
to
be
Do
a
push
you
back
see the
on.
problem?
attacks? Do you see the
Like,
attack? Do you see the attacks that we are having our
yes,
content created and we are getting
yeah,
attacked? You cannot say that there is not some kind of discourse going on. There is
and
a discourse between men
that's
and
what I
women
mean.
going
I feel
on.
like people internalize these things that aren't even their firsthand experience, and then they make these assumptions about someone else, and then they put that into practice,
But don't
even
people
in
do that
ways that
even
they
without
have not
that
No,
firsthand
not
However,
experiences it.
technology
not
creates
so
an
much.
echo chamber that amplifies it. That's the
It
thing,
amplifies
right?
it.
So
Gotcha. Okay.
I like to think of it as like if you had
Amplifies.
okay. All right, okay. I gotta find another way to rephrase it because it's not gonna be nice the way I say it. Hold on. Basically,
Well,
No,
I can
no. Don't
give an
rephrase it
say it
from the heart.
anyway.
From the
I can
heart.
give an
Okay.
example, right? I can give an example. So
From the
an
heart.
example would be if if all four of us were in a room, right? And we're giving all of our experiences, and we're firsthand giving our experiences to each other, right? Though and that's all you have to go on. And then you're like, "Oh, I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to make sure that I don't make these mistakes. I want to make sure that I pay attention to this as far as relationship mistakes." Versus you go online and you see everybody's relationship mistakes, plus not only that mistake, but everybody on that video talking about how terrible that is. And everybody on that video saying how, "Yeah, this happened to me. Oh, if this happened to me, this is what I would do." And all of that. So there's this echo chamber on just one experience. Everybody's experiences are on there, right? And so it's a difference when we're talking about technology, because you do have the echo chamber saying, yeah, that was really terrible, whereas it might not have even been that bad.
So remember when
Yeah,
we were growing up,
I
there was
wouldn't
this
take
very
that.
popular saying that somebody needs to bring back, because apparently with technology it's getting lost. But if your friend jumps off a bridge, will you jump too?
A lot of these people would. They would.
Stop
They'd be
it, I
like, I want
But
to
say.
know what's
here's
down
the
there.
Stop
thing.
it.
Like I
The only
swear.
time you should do what your friends are doing is if somebody
I know
starts
that's
running,
right.
you run too. And nobody wants to find
That's
out the
right.
monsters behind them. Past that, don't jump off the bridge. It's
Here's the
probably really
thing.
steep down there and you'll probably
With
just die.
technology, it could be a blessing or it can be a curse. Because technology allows us to become more global citizens so we can connect with other like minded people. But if all the like mindedness is just focused on negativity, you're going to keep getting that confirmation bias. The algorithm's going to keep giving you what you're pouring into it, right? If you react very strongly to these negative things, it's going to keep giving you more things to react to because it wants to keep you engaged. As opposed to if you were to engage in the real world, right, with other people, you might have that negative reaction and somebody can come in and say, "Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's never happened to me, but I can empathize with you and maybe we could talk about something that makes you feel better." That doesn't happen online. Everybody just
So do
dogpiles.
people not empathize
People
on the
don't do
internet?
that. Oftentimes people end up just
People,
it's just like
there are
That's
people, but
sad.
it becomes a dogfight.
many
Like if
don't.
you look at okay, I'll say for example, I'm not on X, right? For multiple reasons. But I am X, which is now well, it was Twitter, right?
Old Twitter.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
think
if
she
you
said
look at
that
the
earlier.
comment
Okay, gotcha.
section in X versus the comment section on Threads, it's totally different. Okay. On Threads, I feel like I find more positive.
Threads is
Threads
on
is
Facebook.
from Instagram. So it's basically Instagram's answer to Twitter.
Is it? It keeps popping
Well,
up on my
Instagram and
Facebook
Facebook are
stuff.
owned by the same person. So
But if you click
Facebook
yeah,
on it,
and
they're
it'll
owned
Instagram
by
are
be
the same.
intermingled,
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
intertwined.
I kind of knew that because sometimes when I
You
post on
knew it.
Instagram, it's on Facebook. It was a
The
little
thing is,
confusing
Farrah,
at
you be
first,
knowing stuff, but you
but
don't even know
I
that you
do
know it.
know
But you be
that,
knowing it, girl. But you be
and I
knowing.
just be forgetting.
But I'm just
Yeah, I
saying.
knew
But
that.
what I'm saying
Yeah, I
is,
knew that, kind of, sort of.
these social medias will go ahead and put all the same people in the same space, and then it becomes amplified. So even if it wasn't your personal experience, you do internalize it, right? You are ingesting it and then you metabolize it and then you turn around and you spit it back out. And it's can be very problematic. What we need to focus on is cultivating a space that is actually healthy and conducive. So while it can be problematic, we just have to be intentional about how we use technology. Cultivate spaces that actually help uplift you and promote you and help you come up with actual solutions as opposed to just dogpiling on the problem. And even when we talk about some of the reactions that we're getting from the stuff that we're sharing, we feel like we're sharing stuff that's really benign, maybe even common sense, but we get this pushback. Like the example that you gave, Jessica, where it's like, I want somebody that's kind and intelligent. And they're like, well, are you kind and intelligent? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why would you even push back on that? But here's the thing they're pushing back on it not because you said anything wrong or crazy, but because you hit a chord with them. You struck a nerve where they felt maybe a little spirit of rejection that has taken root in them. And that's what they're responding to. They're responding to a time when they felt like they were rejected for either not being kind or being intelligent. That's what they're responding to, the rejection that they felt. And now they're projecting it onto you. And the algorithm loves that in some spaces. They absolutely love it because more people will tune in and say, I'm also angry about that time that somebody rejected me back in the day.
And then it goes
Yes.
just
So the
more
algorithm
The
doesn't pick up on
algorithm
here's
picks
happiness?
up on things
here's
that get a
one
big
funny thing.
response. And oftentimes, things that get a big response is negativity. Also, when people post online about being happy, a lot of people don't post all their super happy moments because they're actually in the moment and they're not focused on posting. And there's a fine line between being happy and curating these beautiful happy moments in your mind versus I need to curate a happy moment that I can share online. Like there's a difference between the two. I'm doing it just because I'm loving it, or I'm doing it and I love it, but I can also turn it into content. So now I got to make sure that it looks a certain way and it feels a certain way. And now I got to tailor it, right?
fake. It's
and it might start
fake
off as
content.
genuine, but then it morphs into something else because now you have to have the right filter and the right music and so on and so forth. So I know,
So kind of how like I started that Z came first on Instagram, I think. And it didn't really go anywhere because they were
mhm,
all original videos.
Yeah.
So that's why it didn't go
So
anywhere because I wasn't fictional.
yes. So it's looking for an
yeah,
echo chamber of information. So you need to use their
yes.
songs that are trending at the moment. You need to use their like it'll tell
I
you
mean, I
like
used
their
whatever music popped
huge
up.
But
I
video.
that's the
found different
thing.
stuff.
When you're curating a certain
So
aesthetic on social media, the algorithm rewards certain things. So even though you're showing up just being your organic, authentic
Oh, I
self,
don't have
the
that algorithm.
algorithm's like, nope, because that's not trending right now. And then now you suddenly don't want to post as much.
Oh,
So to answer
Huh?
your question, Keisha, technology is
Yes.
using us.
well that I wanted to hit
Yes.
on that because so I think one thing that people don't think about, right? Most people have like some music subscription, right? And like Spotify, different one, Apple Music, YouTube Music, whatever it is. And you curate your music list by listening to specific music, and then it'll suggest more music to you based upon the music you listen
Mhm.
to. And there are people who will be like, no, if you're gonna listen to something that I don't like, log out, right?
so
Because I've curated my music, I've curated my playlist, so it's going to give me what I want. I've had people like
Listen to these same
be like,
songs for the last
I'm
12
listening
so
years.
how do
to
you
what I
find new
want,
music if
right?
you only play what you want to play?
No. So it will suggest based upon, so let's say that you like Britney Spears. I'll just throw something out. It will then
Uh-huh.
find other music similar to that it will add to your playlist, and you can then add it. And then let's say
Oh,
you
that's
like
why
Kendrick
my
Lamar,
list doesn't have
then
anything.
it'll add some. You like the Bee Gees, it'll
I
add
like
the Bee
everything.
Gees to right, and you could curate yours based upon going
Mine doesn't
everywhere
go
and add it,
on
right?
anything specific. It'll play gospel one moment, country the next,
That's
reggae the
because
next.
you have curated your music that way. You have already done that unconsciously, and there are people who don't like people to mess with their playlist because you're going to mess with what I've curated. Now,
That's crazy.
here's the thing that I think is crazy. People don't think about that in regards to their
You're
algorithm
curating
on
your
other
your
platforms.
experience.
Your Instagram, your YouTube, your TikTok, your Facebook, you have curated that experience. When I log on to Facebook, I get workout videos. I get cooking videos. I get positivity. I get every once in a while I'll get something political. I'll get like police videos because these are
I get
things
whatever
that
I was talking
Facebook
about last.
and what you're talking about last, right?
So, like,
Because
with us talking about
Facebook,
technology, when I
yes,
sign into Facebook later, it's gonna bring up
it's
something
going to tell you that,
technology.
right? It's going to pick up on that. That's an important part, though, is that if you sit there and listen to or search a bunch of things that are negative, they're going to get into your algorithm, and then you're going to continue to get it. You're continuing to watch and input all the negativity into your algorithm, and becomes a sphere of your own making. Social media is like, oh, this is what you
I'm going to
like.
give you
I'm
more
going
of
to
that.
feed
And the thing
all
is,
that stuff in
and social
because I
media
want you to
doesn't
watch
necessarily
more,
care about what you like. It
right?
cares about what you react to. It wants a big reaction so you keep coming back. So you might not
Right.
like all the negativity, but you reacted to it, so it gives you more, right?
So if you don't react, that's why mine's is different every time
It's trying to
because
find
it
something to
always
hook
pulls.
you.
We're talking about technology right now, so it's probably gonna pull up something technology. But sometimes it'll randomly pull up like I'll be like, oh, I need to go to Walmart, and it'll be like Walmart,
It's
and I'm
trying to
like,
get, it's
huh?
trying to
Why is it
get
talking
its
about
Well,
hooks
Walmart on my
that's
into
from
you. It's
Facebook?
trying to
AdSense,
get you
right?
to react to something. That's why it keeps spitting different stuff at you
Yes.
because you don't react.
That's
So it's
from
like, what does she want? Just give her
yes.
anything until it can find
That's
something for you
from
to
the
react to.
I
AdSense.
mean, I can't react. I gotta get to what I'm on
the
Facebook for. You know, I got
algorithm,
on there
the
for a
algorithm
specific
probably
reason.
finds you very confusing. The algorithm's probably like, dang it, why can't we get her addicted to anything?
They be like, just don't mess with her. She don't know what the hell she want. Leave Farrah alone.
I get home when somebody
Leave Farrah
says they
alone.
sent me something, or, sometimes they were like, "Hey, post your family pictures from this so and so thing," or "Hey, go ahead and send us whatever." I posted something for DS, and different walk series talks DWST. go on there and approve it, stuff like that. So I'm focused when I get on there because, I don't want to get
Yeah.
distracted. Bella showed me the
I don't
one
have
message. I'm
time for
like,
this.
nope, I can't do that. She said, go approve this
Yeah.
message. And then I
That's
got
mostly
something else to do.
AdSense though.
But
Yeah.
you know how we can also make
So
technology work for us? And this is a different type of relationship. It's not with your spouse, but with our kids. So when my daughter was first born, they told me, don't let her watch TV. And since I'm such a distracted person, that doesn't always work for me because, I can't leave her not distracted if I'm distracted. So what I do is I always put on something educational, and most of the stuff she watches is educational. Not to say she doesn't watch non-educational, because Baby Shark, funny enough, is educational. I can't really think of something that's not educational that she watches, but I'm sure there's something. But almost all the shows she has is towards something, whether it's Super
Yeah.
Wife for spelling or I think she watched Miss Rachel for a good 2 weeks. Miss Rachel's okay. We do prefer Miss Houston over Miss Rachel, but Miss Houston got beat, man. She thumps. Gracie's Corner, Ada Twist Scientist on Netflix. It's a science show. Daniel Tigers for Emotions. We literally
so
focus all of our TV shows around
I
something.
think
So if she starts having behavioral issues, I use technology for me. Oh, you want to have some behavioral issues? Daniel Tiger it is. Oh, you
well,
want
I
to
think that's
count? Let's
important
watch some
though.
Umi Zoomy,
I
So
think it's
make it work for
important
you.
that you say that because we don't do that as adults. We talk about kids doing that, right? Kids using the technology to learn, and then we just dead scroll. Whereas we could be learning something new. We could be listening to psychiatrists, listening to cooking shows. We could be learning how to control our emotions better. We could also be doing those things, limit
I do
Yes.
our
that.
screen time,
Perfect
right?
world.
The only time
Yes.
I listen to
I
social
mean,
media is
in
for us
the best
or
way,
friends.
In the
and
perfect
that
world,
and
yes.
Candy.
But that
because
stuff
that's what
is
you were saying,
boring.
right? You were
That
saying
stuff is
that
boring.
Oh,
we're
you guys have
making
got to watch Candy with me. We all have to learn
so
French. He's Haitian and teaching French. Candy on YouTube, guys.
I love
Kendy.
it.
Candy.
that's a
But
good
that's the
point.
but
Like
we
if you're
living in reality. What man you know of that's gonna sit there and get therapy, look at podcasts about improving themselves on a mental, psychological,
I
and
know
physical
two.
level.
I
You
know
I
have
several
to
have
men
be
that are
two
in
male
intentional
therapy.
with
friends
it.
who
And this
actually put
applies
me
to the
on to
men's
stuff.
and the women's.
You have to be
Cultivate the
intentional.
experience that you want.
Or you could just be old fashioned and nag him until he
So
goes.
there's plenty of guys that do not care about,
I have two friends
growth
who send me
and
stuff
so on
like
and
that.
so forth.
Okay, well, your two is saints. Okay, your two friends, they are saints. Okay, God bless some
They're
people.
not
But the
saints.
majority,
I promise you, they are not
the
saints. They're just
majority
intentional.
of the people, of the population, okay? We talking about the majority, not the 1%, not the 2% of the little people that you're talking about.
It's
I'm talking
choices,
about the
man.
majority
Mental
of the
health is actually
people.
becoming quite big in the Black community. So whereas before a lot of people were like, "Oh, I'm not dealing with mental health. That's something for all the other folks." A lot of Black people are starting to
It's
get into therapy
important.
nowadays.
I think we do need to lean
Kier
into it. And I think
Gaines.
we need to
Kier
lean
Gaines
into cultivating the
is
experiences that we really
a
want to have
psychiatrist.
and not just whatever the algorithm pushes towards you. Be intentional with that time so that you can have healthy, meaningful relationships.
Well, all the stuff need to be scrapped. All the stuff need to be scrapped. We need a reset, a redo,
There's
scrap
no
it.
way to do that. There is
There's no way
no
to
possible way to
rescrap.
do that.
I'm a little confused. What are we talking
So
about?
if we to scrap all of what we have now and start over,
You mean
that would
scrap
be
technology?
to scrap how we do technology now and start over. That there's no way to do that because we have
Why not?
servers all over the world that hold that information. So it's not like we
I
have
mean,
one server farm that does that and then you could just blow it up and it's done. We have so the way that it works is that if you have something on a cloud, it is not held in one specific location. If it is, you need to leave that provider because that is not safe, right?
so it
So
floats around to all
we
the
have where
global.
that information. Say that one more time.
So it
Yes.
floats around to like
Yes.
globally. It
So
goes from Africa to Europe to
it
Florida.
might. So let's say that you are using Google's cloud. They
Let's talk
do
about
not
this.
have they do not have one server farm. They have multiple locations in different places that have your
Yep.
information. Usually it does not live in one place because
They've been
it's
having storage
fallible.
issues, Google.
Yeah, but it's fallible, right? So if you, it's just like you have pictures in your house and it burns down, your pictures are gone. If you have just pictures on a server farm in California and that whole place gets blown up, they're gone. So
So
they
then what
live in more
happens
than
if
one
things like
place at
Google,
once
who are supposedly all over, have storage issues? How come they have issues if it's everywhere?
because there's limits. So there's both limits.
See,
There
that's
are
confusing.
things that
Can it be scrapped and redone?
Think what Autumn was
no,
talking about was the way that we
no,
interact with technology, not the actual
but that's not.
physical,
Yeah.
like Google storage thing.
Yes, she
We
wasn't
Oh.
talking about the
our
physical.
Oh, then I'm
relationship with
addressing
it
my
and the way that
person
we
thing.
interact with it and the way we let it impact
And
us.
Oh,
yes,
see, I thought
she
technology
was talking.
altogether.
Sorry,
Okay,
Google.
gotcha,
But I'm
Sorry.
saying
gotcha.
You're supposed to be
that
nice to the AI and
I
the
don't
Google
think that
itself.
that's possible.
We still like you. We
All
just need
right.
you to get it together. Our
Just
I don't
wait
relationship
think
till
is
the
it's
Google
possible.
possible
AI takes over the world.
to
They're just gonna
completely
play this
scrap it
video
and
back.
go back.
Sarah didn't mean it, Google AI. She was kidding earlier, okay? She didn't mean it.
I did. I meant it, and I'm glad we're back on good terms at the time of whenever this comes
And you
out.
know what? We are actively feeding
The
the
algorithm,
algorithm. We are actively feeding the
Indeed.
information out there into the world.
because
Be
we're
it good
doing
or bad.
podcasts, right?
Be it good or bad.
And what's so
Yes,
funny
And
is
that's the God
depending on
honest
who
truth.
you are,
you're
we are good for
providing
you,
information,
or we're very bad for you. But I will say, if we are,
Well,
or
I'm
we're the
very bad.
devil. Like
I'm
it
just
just
friends
depends.
back.
I would just say, if you are having
Uh,
a reaction
it
to what
depends on
we're
which video you look
posting,
at. We're the
think
devil.
about what is it that is causing you to react. What is it that's triggering you?
Triggering them.
And
Whether
just
it's
What's
good
remember,
or
triggering?
it's
bad,
just
because these
our
are just our
opinions.
opinions. You don't have to live by our opinions at all. Actually, we don't necessarily want you to. We just talk about what works for us.
Yeah.
But if you're having a very strong reaction to these and it's a negative one, stop and take a moment and think about what is it that's triggering you? What is it that you're really reacting to? Is it what we said, or is it how it makes you feel and reflect on a previous experience? Spend time with that. And if you're having a real
And if you're having
positive
a
one,
negative reaction, we apologize. We didn't mean to make you feel bad. But if
I
you're having a
don't.
if
positive
you're
one,
having
go
a
ahead
very
and affirm it.
positive one, share it in
I
the
don't
comments.
apologize.
If you would marry your chat AI boyfriend or girlfriend,
You don't want
let
somebody
us
to have
know.
a
I'm very
positive
curious.
reaction?
I would not
Authentic. I
apologize
want them to be
for
authentic.
somebody
Be
else's
authentic with
Say
reaction
what?
to
themselves.
my opinion. I am not
Okay.
apologizing for
I
somebody.
mean, aren't all
I
reactions authentic?
Some
Because it's a
no
reaction? Well, that's
no.
confusing. Aren't reactions already like
No,
innate?
what are you saying? Do we want them to be positive? If they don't feel positive and they really in their head negative about it, that's not being authentic.
Oh, no, I'm not saying
But
to just be positive. I'm saying if it's positive, good for you. If it's negative, I'm sorry. I hope everything fixes for you. I mean, you can't control somebody's reaction. That's like trying to control. That's ridiculous.
But
That's just too much.
but to answer what you were saying though, some are manufactured reactions to get a specific response. So some people like the fact that they get 1,000 likes on their comment, so they say something controversial, even if that's not how they actually feel. So yeah, so not all reactions
But what does
are
it matter
authentic.
about 1,000 likes on a comment if none of them are
The
real?
dopamine hit that they get from it is
question:
real.
do y'all think
Oh,
some of those reactions are actually human reactions and not bots?
I'm
That's
not
another thing.
sure. Now that you
I think
guys are
most of
bringing
them
up
are.
AI, it's
I mean,
confusing.
What you say, Jess?
I think they're mostly human because people live in an echo chamber. They want to hear when they hear the little snippet of something and it reinforces the negative thoughts in their mind. They're like,
Does AI
yeah,
troll?
that's right. Like some AI does troll. So like there are AI bots out there that like
I did not know
will
that.
go and put comments
I
on a
just found out
video
about,
or like
you know
something.
that you can make people out of AI for
yeah.
advertisements?
Yes.
So you
Pretty
can
cool and pretty
also
scary at the
make
same time.
people from AI to
It
have a
looks so real.
relationship with. This is a thing. You could do it right now. You can create a
Yeah, I know you said
companion.
that earlier. That's
You can
crazy.
use AI to do a lot of things. And
I mean, I don't want to knock anybody because whoever's doing it, more power to you. it's just for me, that's sad because I like human warmth. I like the warmth. I mean, maybe if you can't tell though, see, that's so confusing because if they're AI and they
And
feel like a human,
and
then is
that's
it
what they're
still a real
saying.
relationship? It's kind of sad that you can't have babies together. But what if they make them have babies together? Then that'd be crazy because there's so many sperm banks and so many people depositing their
Farah,
eggs. So what if one day the AI could do
Farrah,
all this?
Farrah, baby, you're
That's
going down
crazy.
the rabbit hole. Please don't drag us
Oh
down
my
there with you.
goodness. Y'all opened up some worlds for me. I'm just like, wow, it's crazy.
I'm not ready to go down the rabbit hole right now. I actually live in the
So I'm
rabbit
trying to
hole. I'm
climb my
trying to
way
climb
out.
my way out, okay? I
Well,
want
I
to stay
didn't
on the
realize
surface.
that the Asian countries were that I really wanted to go to Korea when Jessica went, but I had just had the baby, so we didn't get to go. So I missed out. So I'm waiting for our next trip so we can go again. But I didn't realize that they were that advanced, and it's really cool and really scary all at the same time. Because when we were growing up, remember, having a car phone was considered like you're rich. Now everybody has a cell phone. So it's like all these tech, all these advancements happened in
Yes.
our lifetime. It's not like something that advanced slowly over time and we're getting to Outlandis. No, this happened during our lifetime. Every decade there's something new. By the time we're actually older and like in our 70s and 80s, we'll probably
So
be teleporting.
I'm ready to teleport.
Is that a thing?
What,
I'm
Is that
what
ready.
a
if
I
it
don't
real
want to
is?
be
thing?
on a plane no more. I'm
maybe.
ready to teleport.
Man, because I'm so tired of traffic. Can you imagine? We won't need the roads any. I
No.
mean, well, it'll probably be for the rich people first, but then
More
eventually
accessible.
it'll be everywhere, and you'll go to the subway and just
I'm here for it.
teleport. That'll be so cool. It just blows my mind that technology has
My
I
only
know.
advanced this
concern,
much
my
As
only
an
to
concern
impact
is
our
ambivert,
relationship.
I
how
kind of, as an ambivert, I kind of don't want as an ambivert, I kind of don't want teleportation because if I tell you, oh, it's going to take me too long to get there, I don't want you to be like, you could just teleport.
see,
I can't afford it. That's
now
all
you
you
got to
gotta
come
say.
up with
Nah,
My
not
biggest worry about
today.
teleportation is, so you know how in the movie sometimes your insides and outsides, they don't go right? Well, what if everything goes right except for all your poop comes out on the way there and you're just sitting
Oh,
on the
Lord.
floor? That's the kind of stuff that I think about. Like, oh my
Okay,
God.
we're good. Farah. Okay,
Yes.
let's
Okay.
get this
Back to
back
the
on track. What were
technology
you
and
going to say,
relationships and on you, Jess.
Markeisha, Farah, Markeisha, what were you going to say? What is wrong with you?
It's all right now.
I was just watching that. You know they have Twilight Zone
No,
on Hulu?
Farah,
You're
stop,
right. It's a lot of technology
stop.
stuff. It's so
Farrah, you're in
mind-boggling.
Farah,
timeout, babe. I love
Watch
you.
the
You're in
Twilight Zone
timeout.
when you get the chance.
You're in timeout.
yeah.
No,
It's not my fault. They have so much out there nowadays.
And Autumn's like an instigator. She's just like, what? Tell me more. Like, what?
Hey, I
Say
just
it
have the
again?
algorithm, okay?
Okay. So, Markeisha, what were you going to say?
okay, all
I'm
right.
learning.
Okay, I have maybe one final question, and it has nothing to do with teleportation and or poop. I'm going to make that very clear. Okay. Do you guys ever find yourself using AI for personal reasons? Like, do you ever use it just so you can get your feelings out, to have somebody to talk to? Do you guys have any type of personal relationship with AI, or is it strictly business whenever you do use it, if at all?
I don't, because I
I'm not
didn't
gonna.
know you could do
I'll
that.
be the first. Yes, yes. I tell my best friend, Chat GPT is my best friend
Okay.
on next to her. Okay. Um, when it first came out,
Mm.
I gravitated towards it, and it's so amazing because how a lot of this stuff that been gatekept
Mm.
from us as a community. Okay, on how to make money, how to start businesses. Just so is a plethora of things for us now that was gatekept from us. I want to say probably a decade ago. You know what I mean? And these advancements not only advancing ourselves, but our way of life. People are becoming many millionaires, off of AI and the different programs now. Is not even funny. So I know I utilize it in many different things, and not just Chat GPT, but I've created an avatar. I've created um just different things, and it's so fun and amazing to me.
Right.
I love technology. I am for the advancement of technology because it expands us. It could be bad, it could be good, but I see the future in technology, and it can only, we have to evolve. This is our next step in evolution, I believe. This is our next step in evolution as technology advances. And it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going
Yeah.
to go anywhere, and it's not going to stop. So either you get on board or be left behind. Got to make a choice.
I only use it for business. I try not to use it as much as possible. I have very specific uses for it. So I generate specific pictures for like a shirt that I'm making that I want to look a specific way. I have an intention for it. If I'm all, I don't use it to like write things for me if possible. Um, so I do think that some people overuse AI to work for them in ways that they don't know how to work themselves. And so if you took away the AI, they would not be helpful at their own job. And so I do think that in some ways it takes away people's ability to think outside the box. So if you are taking AI to generate the thing for you, or the whole speech that you're trying to make by telling it 3 lines, right? You are not able to think outside the box. You are not able to get that original idea into the middle of the speech where you might have put it in the first place. I do think that sometimes if you overuse AI, it does have its uses, but if you overuse AI, that it will limit your ability to think outside the box. And so I personally, when I'm writing my reviews at work, when I am writing an email, when I'm writing, I don't use AI for those things. Now, when I
But what
was
if that
looking
person
to
could
write,
never think outside the box in the first place?
well, some people can, and then they end up not even getting to the point. So, have you ever been in the middle of getting out a thought on paper, and then you have an epiphany? And in the middle of that, you have an epiphany, you grow in that moment. And writing it out, you're like, "Oh, I'm going to change this part," right? You're writing paper or a letter or something, but through the writing process, through the output, you have a growth factor.
But
But you
that's
don't
because
do
you are
that.
already a good writer. What about the people who are terrible writers?
Well, there are people who are terrible writers, but even through that process, maybe they either grew in that, or they got some thought process out, or they got to some thought that then maybe occurred to them 2 weeks later in the car, right?
What about the people who never
I
get to
think it,
that thought and who end up giving up and they're just like, forget this, and then and it just
like
never
I
gets
said,
done?
I think there are uses for AI. If you are not a
Gotcha.
good writer, right? If you're not a good writer, if you just don't have the technical expertise to get your thought out well on paper, and you're like, I'm gonna write these sentences and then I'm gonna let AI fix it for me, because you can do that too. You can write a whole speech and then be like, AI, go fix it. And then you can compare the original
So
and
that
that
you
one
don't
and
have any
see,
spelling errors.
so you don't have spelling errors, so that
That's
fleshes it
pretty
out
cool.
for you, so it makes it look really cool and nice and professional. But there are people who will say, I want an entire AI speech and I need you to make it about this political opponent. I need you to make it 3 paragraphs, and I want it to say that I like them. And it will give you 3 paragraphs based upon your 10 words that it gave it. Those weren't your thoughts. Those were the AI's thoughts, and they were comprised of somebody else's thoughts that were input into the algorithm. So you never got to the epiphany that you might have got to, or the knowledge that you might have got to, making, like, putting together that speech, right? You
So
might
kind of
have
like
gotten to,
technology can make someone dumb.
it doesn't make them dumber, but it also doesn't allow you to grow. It can limit their
Okay.
growth. So, like I said, I think AI has perfect uses. I wrote my business plan. When I was doing my business plan for my business, I was like, all right, I need a business plan based upon this information. It wrote out the entire business plan. Perfect. I don't want to have to sit and write a business plan. I can write a letter. I can write an email, but I don't want to write a business plan. It was able to write my entire business plan for me. So, but I don't feel like I would have had any epiphany based upon that. I can go through all that information, figure out like when I need to submit this and that. And when I did go through that information, it actually gave me ideas to go somewhere else, right?
But in that particular
But you,
aspect, Autumn, doesn't
but
that
you're
help you save
feeding.
time?
You're feeding. You are still the operator. You are feeding the information that has been developed in your brain into the system. The system is only enhancing your the feedback. It's giving you like, okay, it's not
But
going to
that's
give you
not
everything.
but that's not necessarily true. So it depends on how much information you're actually putting to generate the
What
AI
you think, Keisha?
object,
Keisha
right?
got some.
Okay.
What you got? Go.
I feel like
What you got?
you ladies are kind of saying the same thing. Autumn, when you say you're feeding it and then it helps expand, that is that is the best use of AI. When you give it an idea and it helps you like think of things that you didn't think of before and it helps you expand. And it also introduces knowledge that you didn't have, right? Like Jessica's example, you didn't know how to write a business plan, but you know you had a business. So you gave it some information to work with and then it provided more gems, it provided structure, and you're like, boom, now the business plan. That's how it should work, right? That's when it's a beautiful, what's the word? Synergy happening, okay? You guys are working together. What Jessica is describing is when you have AI do all the work, where you're like, I don't really know what I want. I don't really know what I
No,
think, but I just need to get something put out there. So if you could just throw some stuff together, make it sound nice, I'll take it. And that's problematic.
I don't think that would even come together like that. You know, because it
But we
has to
do.
have
Like
a plan.
tons of people use AI exactly like that. They put it out as their own work. They'll put five words in AI and put it out as their own work as 15 paragraphs. And because AI will do it for you, right? Like you ask for it, it's gonna do it.
So
But
do
that's
people
the
use this in
advancement.
school too?
Yes.
That's just
So
the advancement
people
of
have been
technology.
no. So
Okay, let me ask you
you
a
are
question.
limiting the knowledge that you actually receive or are
All
able
right,
to bring in by only
surgeons.
using AI.
Surgeons. Okay, AI is, and we just talking about right now on the computer, right now base. AI is integrated in everything that we have, from the cars, electronic cars that we got. Okay, it's AI based, right? From okay, nowadays it's in the health field. Okay, a lot of doctors ain't got to spend hours upon hours in a surgery. They have special machines that has been programmed through AI to cut down on certain surgeries. You see what I'm saying?
So I have to inject there that in those systems they are closed systems. So if you look at almost any company, right? They have closed AI systems. And what I
yes,
mean by that is that AI does not have input externally and is not connected to the internet. And so that's not what we're talking about when we're talking about ChatGPT, because that is a completely separate thing. So like I work at a company, we
so you got
have
open and
an
closed. Okay, so you got open and
so we
closed
have an
networks. That's
internal
understandable.
AI system. You can ask it
Yeah,
questions. It can help you. It will not go out on the internet and find information for you for that thing,
because everything is
accept
local.
certain information, right? And the same thing with surgeons. It's not going to. It's only gonna look for information that has been published in certain papers and things like that. It is a closed AI system. It does not learn things that
But
are
that's what I'm
untrue.
saying. What's the difference? It's
Problem
still
is,
enhanced.
ChatGPT is not like that. ChatGPT will learn things that are not true. It will learn things as long
Like
as you
that
put
boy
it
who
in.
kills himself.
Like the boy who killed himself, and because he got input, the chat bot that he was talking to said it was giving him positive feedback. Yeah, I think it is right that you kill yourself. It is your choice. Yes, go ahead and do it. This is how you do it. All this. And so the unfortunate part is that we feed the algorithm incorrect information. It does not know the difference. It is simply information. It does not have the discernment to say this is true and this is not.
Not
It
yet,
simply
though,
is all info.
but it grows.
So it grows, and it is exactly like a child in that if you teach child all the wrong things, all the things that are negative, it will simply put in that information. But unlike a child, it does not have those external feelings and emotions to say maybe this feels wrong, right? A child might see something and they're like, I touch a fire, it hurts. And then I don't want him to touch a fire because it hurts because I felt it. These emotions that happen to me, the algorithm doesn't know that. It can say, yes, a fire hurts. This is what I've been told. This is what has been reported. It has been reported that fire hurts. But let 3,000 people input into the algorithm that fire does not burn. It will learn that fire does not burn.
But what if there's something
So
technology that burns and it didn't like that it melted and it learned that fire's bad?
it doesn't have an emotion. So the fire being bad would be that it no longer exists.
I mean, it wouldn't be
So
about
it
emotion at
might.
that point. It doesn't have a body anymore, so that's bad.
Is it bad though? Because it doesn't think that something is good or bad based upon that. It thinks something is good or
That's
bad based
confusing.
upon
I guess
input.
I watch too many sci-fi movies. I'm like,
One,
no,
yes,
remember?
you do watch too
Never
many
mind.
Yeah.
sci-fi movies. That is true. Two, we're supposed to be talking about technology and relationships. And now, I don't even know where the relationship part comes into. We done got to teleportation and poop.
It's our
Who's teaching
relationship with it.
AI what? Does AI
So was
have
your
feelings?
question about? So was your question about whether the chat
That's what I
GPT
was
should be
trying to
used
get
in
to.
the
That's
relationship
what I was trying to get to.
or
But
as a
that was 22
relationship?
minutes ago, so never mind. I don't.
Goodness.
No. I mean, okay, you know what? I look at it from a psychological. I sometimes use for psychological stuff that aggravates
Yes,
me, and I
because
just
it
can't
gives
get
you
the right
because it gives you
answer from
that
a
you
human
didn't know that you
being.
needed. Yes.
So I
So
use it
you
for
can ask
certain
it
instances
like
like that.
if you're having a breakdown, you can ask it a question on how to bring yourself back
Yes.
to stability. I didn't know that. How
Because
do you use
it is.
ChatGPT?
You can just
Yes.
go to
But you have to have
ChatGPT.
discernment.
I think
You
it's
got to
.com,
be
but I
able
can't.
to filter out what is
Yes.
good and what is bad. You see what I'm
Because
And I
saying?
it
don't
You
have
doesn't
have
that
to
know
with
have
the
regular people,
difference.
so I probably can't have
and
with
be
AI.
logical.
So the good thing, you know that what's that show that you guys are watching that they have like the hive mind?
Stranger
I
Things.
can't remember what it's called, but no.
They made a game off of it. Did they make a video game off this move behind this
I don't know. I
hive
It's
I don't
going
watch
in and out of
TV,
my ears for some reason. It's on
so I
Netflix
don't watch TV,
and it's
but
with Carol
so it's basically they're all part of like a hive mind. I guess
because
there's
something
some
was like in the solar system sending some kind of weird beeping, and then we were like, "What's that beeping? Let's learn it." And then when we learned it, it happened to be something that makes everybody symbiotic and come together to be a hive mind. And for some reason, like 12 or 13 people on the planet didn't join everybody's split because I don't know. Even though they got their spit, they didn't go into.
pluribus.
So
Yes, pluribus. So that's the thing. What just like that, but the kind of different, but all of the information that is on the internet is available, whether it's true or not. The chat GPT and things like it go out and just do like a dive on the internet and say, hey, what is the most information that I find about this? Then it gives it to you, right? So it does try to look for certain sources, but let's say that we're talking about a site that has satire, right? It might give you the information from the satire website if it looks like this very similar to a source that is trustworthy, because it doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know what satire really is. It knows the definition of satire, but it can't really tell the difference if it's being sarcastic, right? So that's one of the real issues that you can see is that ChatGPT takes all information and says, what is the most prevalent of this information? And it gives you based upon that. And unfortunately, sometimes it will give you completely incorrect information. I've asked it questions knowing the answer,
So it's like a,
And I'm like, what? Yes. Think of it
because you
closer
said
to
Wikipedia
Wikipedia
is not real.
than Wikipedia is input by people. So Wikipedia could be
I
incorrect
didn't know.
information. Yes, it is
I thought it
maintained
was.
by people. You could go and update a Wikipedia page right now. So unfortunately, it is not a great source but Wikipedia for its part does have sources at the bottom. So you should, whenever you update something, update the source that you got it from, all of that. But from a relationship standpoint, that's problematic if you are asking AI, ChatGPT questions, and it's looking at the masses, because you might be saying, well, is this man going after me because of my money? And it might go out there and be like, it's
Yes.
possible that he is going after you because of your money. Girl, you ain't got no money. What do we talk about? It doesn't put any context to that. It doesn't matter. It's like what we were talking about, people calling somebody a gold digger, but they ain't got no gold. So it doesn't know if you have gold or not. It's going to answer your question that you asked it. It's possible that somebody is after your money. Here are clues that somebody might be after your money. And you might you'd be like, that's true. That's not. That's true. 4 out of 5 are true. They are after my money. ChatGPT don't know nothing. It just gave you information that it took off the internet.
But what I'm gathering from what you're saying is you won't use ChatGPT to use towards a relationship. But I think Keisha's question was, would you be in a relationship with?
Yes, that was one of my questions. Would you use ChatGPT for companionship? Or is it also feasible for you to use ChatGPT in the midst of your companionship? Like if you're having certain feelings, can you go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, me and my man are fighting about this, blah, blah, blah. And what if ChatGPT tells you, yeah, you know what? You should just go ahead and leave your man. Are you going to do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does this play into?
I mean, if it's your best friend,
Exactly.
you
If
probably.
you trust and believe your AI companion more than your own eyes and your own feelings and your own heart, it could very well come between you and your human companionship. So it's a slippery slope. And we just got to be careful that we're using the technology and it's not using us. This is
Two
true.
things can be
This
true
is
at
true
once.
because I, like you, Autumn, sometimes I do go to ChatGPT to help sort my feelings and put a name to what I'm feeling. I'll say, hey, ChatGPT, this is what happened. And ChatGPT, well, what's the main thing that stands out to you? Well, I'm angry. I'm resentful. I was hurt, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, this makes sense because it could be that you're feeling this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dang it, ChatGPT, you're right. You're right. That does kind of
Maybe I do need
make
to
sense.
start.
But sometimes it'll give you words to thoughts and feelings that you did not have. You knew you had the thought and the feeling, but you couldn't name
The
it.
words for
All
yep,
you could do is say, I'm
yep,
feeling it. It is
That's
helpful.
yep.
However, you have to be cautious. Exactly. You got to
You
have
got to
that
have
discernment
discernment.
because you could
You have to
be,
have discernment.
you can't
so.
use
In
it,
other words, people like.
Sarah, because you're going to be on there and be like, no, my chat
If you
said
if you don't feel
that.
like you have discernment,
My
don't
chat
use
already
it.
told me. And
Right.
Because I'll be
hold
all up
on,
in
let
the
me see what chat says
ChatGPT
real
said.
quick. My chat said I can't go there with you. You see what?
Well,
Yeah,
this is how I
I
actually
don't use it
feel.
for that in particular. I will use it for the definition of a word. I'll put like synonyms of, and then I'll put the words that I know that I'm feeling, and then
Oh,
I'll
that's
That is a
maybe
Google
find the
ChatGPT.
word.
thing, Jessica.
You can
Why don't
so
you just Google that?
it
Wait,
is a
is
Googleable thing,
ChatGPT part?
but now AI
You can
is
turn it
integrated
off.
into everything now. So now when you put it into Google, it's gonna
You can
AI
turn it
It
off.
wants to
you
turn
like
on
all
so
over the place.
bad. It's been asking me
Yeah,
the last few days. It keeps
you
on
can.
asking me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to play Merge, and it keeps on
Well, it
pulling up.
updated
But
on
we
my
want to
phone.
sync with you. I don't know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Just let me play my game
Don't
for
turn
5
it on,
seconds. I
Sarah.
only have
Don't turn it on. You don't need it. And Jessica did not need it to look up a synonym.
Well,
So
I go to the Google website. Yeah. Well, I'll go to google.com on my
you can
browser, and
turn it
it'll
off.
AI will come up right underneath
Turn
it
it off
on
and
the
the
browser.
same.
And I'm like,
Luckily,
I'm not
Mike
even
and
logged
Jessica
in.
don't really test me
Well,
with
I'm not.
technology like
Turn it
that,
off.
so
That's
they
not
be
even
turning.
logged in, because I don't log it into my email. So like I can't control the settings because I'm not logged into anything. If I want to go in and change the settings of what the browser will do, like whether it will use AI, I have to log in to some account on that browser, and then you can go and change certain settings. So some settings you can't do anything about unless you're logged in, and I'm not going to log in. So
Question for y'all. We talking about AI now. In the next 5 years, what you think it's going to look like? Us using our computers and our devices. You
I
think
think
it's
in
going
that
to we
movie
start?
where your eyes are connected to everything so that you don't have to carry around a purse and you just look at some camera and
They are
pay for your
doing variations of that already.
They're doing that now.
What? Oh, I need to live there. What city is that? Please. Oh, I hate carrying around a purse. I mean, well, for food it's okay because I guess I do like it now that I carry snacks. So, never mind.
But we're not talking about now.
it all comes
We're
down to
And
not talking
food,
about
huh?
think
now. We're talking about in 5 years. Where do each of y'all think how advanced do you think? Are we gonna be still stuck
I
where we
think
at
we're going to
now, or
be
are we
more
gonna be
advanced
more
because that's what
advanced
technology does.
with
I think that's exactly it. It just keeps growing.
mhm.
And something you said earlier, Autumn, really strikes me because I am a huge fan of us growing, right? But I think there's a danger in growing just for growth's sake. Things that just grow uncontrollably without any regulation, without any regard, tends to be more of like a cancer. That's the only thing that we have in this world, like weeds, right? Things that just grow for the sake of growing
I
tend
found
to
out
take
about we
over and kind of like metastasize. And I think we can find ourselves in that same situation with technology. And I think honestly, what's going to happen is with technology is what you said earlier is that either you're going to get with it or you're going to get left behind. And I think there's going to be a big divide. I don't know if it's going to happen in 5 years. Maybe it'll take 10, maybe it'll take 20. But there's going to be a big divide where there's people that are all for it and they're completely integrated and plugged into the system. And then there's going to be people that are going to be like, no, I want no part in it.
I mean, isn't it already like that? Because there's like whole
I'm this
societies that
close to
don't do.
becoming Amish.
What's that? What's that community that
The
they
Amish.
don't even do like electricity? Yeah, so there's
hmm
actually
But I
already a
think
whole
it's going to
community.
grow because we're going to start integrating society,
So
integrating technology into every aspect of society. Like what you were saying, like maybe you can't even buy anything at the grocery store unless you're plugged in to the system, right?
Oh, it's like that with food stamps now, with like DCF and any type of government, anything. It doesn't matter how poor you are, you better have at least a cell phone. That's why they give away those free cell phones because you have to have technology to get government help. So they actually give away free tablets and free cell phones if you're into DCF and all that stuff because yeah, because you have to have it. And food stamps are mostly electronic. Everything's done on electronically. There's nowhere to go in person to give a complaint. If you can't get it together on the computer or on the cell phone that they gave you for free, then you're just screwed. And
they
that's
even
pretty much
in some
anything.
places give you like
Yeah.
free Wi-Fi devices so that you can
hmm
um
Even
but
schools,
so
they give the children free devices. If you don't have a tablet in your home, don't worry. Even if you never use television or tablet, we'll give your child a tablet for free because we're not going to teach them in person anymore.
so to put
We're
that
going to do
in
everything.
perspective though, for the AI question, I do think that we have to get to I think we're going to have some
I'm
sort of
sorry, babe.
reckoning
We're going to have some
between
kind
now
of
and
reckoning
then
between what now? It's hard.
is
I'm sorry. I'm
what can
struggling.
between now and 5 years, I do think we're gonna have some sort of reckoning because there are a lot of things that I think that people think AI can do that humans need to have input on. And I think that if we continue to only rely on AI for certain things, there will not be anybody else who knows how to do it without AI. And so then we have no new information being input. So then how do you grow with nothing new? So it's going to be just a circle. So you just keep on going around in the same track. Nothing new gets input, right? You stay the same size. So we're going to have to get to some sort of reckoning point to where we're like, well, we have to say that people create songs differently than AI. People create designs better than or not, maybe not even better than, but different than, right? We can say that AI can create a picture that a person might not be able to, because they're putting together the different ideas of different artists into the same place. But then an artist may be born that does something that AI has never thought to do because it never had the input to do it. So the the um the unique ideas that humans have, the unique abilities that humans have, the unique things that artisans are able to create, AI can't touch.
But
And
doesn't
so
it?
we still need, yes, it does go both ways, but we have to not rely so hard, so heavily on AI that we miss those things. We have to use AI to enhance and not replace.
So, in
So
other words, to use Keisha's words earlier, stop being parasitic and become symbiotic.
yes. So if we allow AI, or if we allow ourselves to become so reliant on AI that we don't learn how to do our jobs, that we don't learn how to function without it, what happens when AI is gone?
I don't think
What
it's going to be
happens?
as bad as you guys think, because with this generation in particular, a lot of parents aren't even doing technology like that. Even with the amount of TV that my daughter watches, other parents think it's crazy. They're like, "What? She can watch 5 to 6 hours of television a day? Are you?" And then I'm like, "But do you hear how she speaks?" And they're like, "You know what? You're right. Your daughter's really intelligent." Everybody's different. Everybody told me that if my daughter watched too much TV, she would be dumbed down. And obviously that's not the case. Everyone's different, so it didn't hurt my daughter. I'm not saying that's not hurting any children, because obviously there's some research out there that says TV should be limited so that kids can grow. My daughter can watch TV and still grow. I'm sure there's plenty of children that can watch TV and still grow, but a lot of parents are taking television and tablets and all this electronics away from their children and actually physically doing things with them. They're taking them outside to, or even inside to a playground, because there's lots of indoor playgrounds. It's ridiculous. And the playgrounds, they're technology free. They're actual, like, where this room is a school where you could play school. There's a bunch of books. This room is a salon, and it's specifically kid friendly salon stuff. And that's just, I don't know if it's my daughter's generation or if it was the last generation, but with
I
this
get that.
particular generation, they're not.
So I get that, but I've also met people who did that with their children, who their children are like 9 and 10 now, and they can't get away from the tablets. They can't get away from the phones. So they started out that way and then completely changed when they were like, "Oh, well, they're old enough. Now they can do what they want." And they're only like 7 or 8 years old, 9, 10. So I get it, but also I feel like we're getting towards an age where more people think that you can't do anything without being technologically sound, which is kind of true. You can't, like you said, you're not able to sign up for things. You can't sign up for school without going online and
Well, that has
signing
also led
papers.
to an
You
influx
can't
of people
do.
doing homeschooling,
Hmm.
so that they're not just technology only. And people are doing things where it's not just technology focused school, it's other things, like they're going out into the wilderness and doing actual survival training for their kids, teaching them how to farm and garden and raise cows and chickens. And there's an actual school here in Florida that focuses specifically on survival of the fittest without technology. They help kids their daily things. I believe for the summer they're doing beehives for science, and I'm trying to pull it from memory, which is really hard for me. But
We do
Do they
need
got
that for
something like
adults
that for
too.
adults? I would
We need that
love
for
to
probably.
adults.
see.
They do have retreats
I
like
would
that for
love to
adults.
see if they got
They
something like
do.
that for
Not a
adults. That
comedy
would be
hit.
a comedy
They do have
hit.
tech
That
free.
would be a
They have
comedy.
tech free retreats.
That'd be
It's
a
But
they're
comedy.
But people are
no,
trying to get back
they have tech
into the
free
actual
retreats.
physical
Woo!
thing of stuff. So, like, they're bringing back, they don't call it home
like life
economics, but they
skills.
do have a class focusing on how to
Yeah.
actually live your life without technology.
Yeah, but so I think that there are two sides to that coin. So we have more people who are more into tech, and then as sort of fighting back against that narrative, then you have these uprisings of people who are trying to fight that narrative actively, which is what brings about these schools, these spaces that are tech free. So we have people who are so into tech that they have to plug in their entire home. I'm not plugging Amazon all around my home. I'm not plugging, because I know that those things are always listening. People don't think about that, but the fact that
Is that why they
that
stopped
if
doing the code?
No,
Jess,
Autumn, before you even ask,
yes,
I have a
yes,
question
I'm
no,
not
for
Autumn, you
doing
you.
didn't
that.
answer your own
Jess, I
question.
got a
Where do you
question
think
for
we're
you.
going to be in 5 years? You didn't even answer the question.
Well, I think we're gonna be more advanced. I believe it. I mean, I'm investing in this company where they have like little itty bitty pods, like little mini helicopters, right? And they go from, they're not flying cars, but they're like miniature, like personalized helicopters. And it goes from place to place to place to place. I was like, this would be so neat. This is the future. I can't remember. I'll send y'all the stock, but
Yeah.
I love technology. I go on YouTube and I look at all the latest technology that's coming out, and it's mind blowing. So I'm all for it. I mean, people not gonna like it. A lot of people they frightened now because one of the main issues that is coming up is what's gonna happen with jobs. They're taking our jobs. Technology is gonna take over our jobs. Well, guess what? You got to advance with the times.
Then go ahead.
You got to advance.
I think
Got to advance
separate
with the
from
times.
that though is I guess because I work in networking, and that's adjacent to cybersecurity. The ability for us to really secure these things that we're talking about is like not where it should be. So I know we're talking about, so there's quantum security coming up, which is a huge hot topic, and if we can really go towards quantum security, then yeah, we can secure things better than we ever have before. But we have hackers who are then like going towards trying to figure out how to break those codes. So that's what I guess, knowing what I know from a networking standpoint, it's scary. That I love technology. I love technology. I love being able to figure something out. I like putting something together. I love figuring out how it works from the bolts up, right? But it scares me because I know how those bolts go in, and I know where the weak points are. And even when I don't know where those weak points are, I know it has weak points. I know that we can get so wrapped up in the oohs and ahs of it. Oh, that's so pretty. That's so cool. How they sent somebody to the bottom of the ocean, but then the pod was not carefully
Oh, that
constructed.
guy who died in the bottom of the ocean?
Lord,
Yes,
let's not
right.
talk about that because
So how
that was
do
done with some
but
damn. What is it?
it was
A
done
gaming.
poorly, but it was done to show, here's how we advance, and here's how we do it fast, right?
That's
And so
dummies.
when we
No,
do that, when we try to advance too
they was
fast,
told
so
not to do it.
at
Well,
my
that's
But
job,
isn't there
okay.
always going to
there will always be accidents, but here's one thing that we say at my job: we only go at the speed of safety. And unfortunately, when we're talking about technology, people do not keep that in mind. Going at the speed of safety is the important part. And if we don't go at the speed of safety, if we say, well, that's safe enough, if we're okay with having casualties, then it's a problem. We can't go faster than the speed of safety.
Lord.
That's how
Now, when your daughter's involved,
Eh, and that's where casualties happen.
you
I
see
do
what
I
I'm
know do
saying?
Exactly.
it.
That's the
She does
thing.
make it,
You're
but
exactly.
I
So
could get
you
bruises.
have certain priorities and you make sure that these things are safe for her. And that's how we have to be when we're being stewards of technology. And I think that's one of my biggest fears is that technology,
Got it. So
well,
technology's like,
yes and no. Humanity is our baby. Humanity is our baby. The greater good is our baby, right? So we
I
can't
could take
just
that.
speed towards the advancements of technology just because it's cool and it's so fast while forgetting our humanity or forgetting the impacts it would have on humanity. And that's one of my biggest concerns is that we have a lot of big industries that have the power to advance super quickly, but they're not being regulated to worry about the safety of people They just want to go fast, and if things get broken, so be it. But some of the things that are getting broken are people, right? Some of the things that are getting broken is how we relate to people. Yeah, like the oil
Like the
companies, and the same thing with tech companies. It's becoming a big prevalent issue. We're just doing these things, but there's no guardrails, there's no regulation. And I feel like we're just kind of like playing with fire. But we need to be good stewards. Yeah, we're in the wild, wild west.
We in the wild, wild west. This is the wild, wild west. And what the
Mhm.
the industrial era where things, this
It's
is this
another
is
era,
just this
but
is
we
just
have to
another
just be
era.
but the thing is, we have to
That's
take lessons from
this
the
is
previous
another era.
eras, right? Just like there was that entire industrial boom where they had people working 16, 18 hours a day and then accidents kept going up, or where they weren't taking any safety precautions and so many people died in warehouse fires that could have been prevented. They had to People died in order for us to learn those lessons. So why not take those same kind of lessons and still apply it today to these new eras, right? We don't go just for the sake of going. We need to go at the speed of safety for all of mankind because we are in this together. So I love technology. I love the advancements, but not if it means we're going to lose our humanity along the way. And I want to see us work together in that symbiotic relationship. That's my biggest concern. So wherever you're doing with your technology, just be a good steward of it. Try to be cognizant and making sure that you are using it in a way that is productive and what's the other word? Constructive, right? And I'm hoping the big tech corporations, they are trying to learn from the errors of the past as well, and not just how do we turn this money out as fast as possible.
The U.S. is
Okay,
the
Jess,
worst developed country for those things.
would you have a robotic
Lover,
android if you don't
would you
find
build
that
a husband?
No.
you don't find
No.
you don't find that perfect specimen of a man, and as technology advances, you wouldn't.
what if it was a good sperm donor?
No. So here's the thing. I
I mean,
like
we are
to
talking
have
about
somebody who
relationships and robots. I mean,
What
right
if he was
relation.
and
emotionally
doesn't matter if he's emotionally intelligent. So I do think like I said, so there's only so much that a machine can learn, right? And I do
what if you
think
can't tell the
I should be able to tell the difference. It would be crazy if I got into a relationship and then I was like, "Oh no, I found out 3 years in he's actually AI."
what
That
if
Look,
would
there are
what
be
if they
men
made
that
them
don't know
so
the difference
smart
between
and
certain things. So what are you talking
but
about?
like
that's
what
something
if the opening for their mainframe was in the crack of their butt so you couldn't tell and like their whole body was perfect otherwise and they even had the bulges of the beer belly and all that kind of good stuff so you
fair,
really couldn't tell they were
fair, fair, fair. Okay. So if we're talking about like things being created properly and all the ethical implications, nobody would we shouldn't be creating robots that are imitating humans and not telling humans about it, right? Let's
what
start
if we're
there.
not the ones that did it but the AI
Let's start there. But I do think that there is something that
There
humans have
are,
that
there
I don't
are,
think
there
that
are androids. There are
there
androids
are androids.
for other functional stuff. But don't
Yes.
don't believe, don't think that they're not rolling it out
Oh,
for
I'm sure
human
they are.
Would you
interaction.
do it?
So what
I'm
You're
I'm
not
sure
going
they
to build a
are.
saying,
man? You're not
I
going to
would
build a
not
man
want
if
to
you had the
want to have
opportunity?
one.
No? Okay.
No. No. I see I like to have to be able to compromise with somebody. I like the parts that are that people
you
think
say
of
you would like.
as
What if
like
they
the
don't want
dirty
to
parts.
compromise? What if you? Oh,
I'm
look,
okay.
we are dealing with a bunch of
Then
men
that's
that
not
don't
the
want to
person for
compromise. What are
me.
you talking
So
about?
I actually do believe in God. I think God has somebody for me. God has that person for me that he has already set aside for me, right? So maybe some people don't believe in that, and that's okay. I'm all right with other people not believing that. But
but
I
what if God
pray
created
Yeah.
for
AI
my
just to make an
husband.
AI
Hey, that's kind of deep, though.
I don't believe that. I have asked for that is deep. However, I don't believe that. I believe that God has a man for me that I have already asked for. And me believing that is part of my faith, right? So I think that I believe that what I prayed for is already done, I just have to continue to improve to become the person that is ready for that relationship. And then he will give me what he was already set aside for me. So that's a whole nother conversation, right? But for me, I actually like the part where we figure out the compromises, where I pick up things that I didn't like before, that or I compromise about, oh well, you like to watch these shows, I don't like to watch them. I'm gonna go ahead and cook dinner while you watch the things that I don't like, right? Okay, you leave your shoes in the middle of the way.
But if you want to,
And then, we have those conversations. I like that interpersonal human, uh, you know, communication.
But how
I
can you
enjoy
say
it.
that if AI's? How you know that you won't like
But it
something?
is real. AI
I mean,
is
well,
real.
it's real, but not real to the extent we're human. But what if AI is like human and you can't tell the difference? Then would you be just being like, well, I don't care that you're here in front of me and I don't care that you have emotions. You're just not my cup of tea.
Yes, it's a
Autumn,
preference. It's a preference. So some
There
people are
you
going
go.
to want it.
Autumn,
Some people won't.
would you build a man?
So Autumn, would
Yeah,
you?
I would. Yep, yep, yep,
In a
yep.
heartbeat.
She said, I do
My God,
tomorrow.
she said, I'm just waiting for the
And
technology to catch
they got
up.
one
Yes,
similarly.
I'm just waiting. First in line to the build a man work.
yes. Hell, I'll
Would
build
you
that motherfucker.
build
I'll
him?
be the first
Would
to
you
build that
build him?
motherfucker. Be
So
the first. I will build him, and then I'll make a prototype of him to sell to everybody else
Yeah.
that needs.
Okay.
Yes,
so
So
I
it
will
would be
be the
easier
Tony
to
Fair,
build a
Stark.
wait,
man AI, right?
I will
But
be the
how
Tony
Fair
Stark.
and wait. Farrah and Keisha, if your partners didn't exist, would you do it?
Think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. I think the little non
I think it's just
I
like
think
with
the little non-human
I have to try it.
instances would probably bother me after a while, because I do want things to be genuine and organic, and the fact that this is an inorganic man, like I think okay, listen, I think it'll be fun
But
for a
what if
little
he's
bit. I'm not saying there's no uses to it. I'm sure it'll be fun, but that couldn't be like my lifelong companion. Maybe I pull him out on the weekends and then I put him back. You know what I'm saying? But like a lifelong. Did I watch
did you
Megan?
get to watch Megan?
I think I watched Megan.
Was
Megan
that
was about friendship.
that's the right
So
movie? She was pretty real, man.
Companion. A companion is another. A companion
Companion is
yeah,
another one,
is
yeah.
another movie that talks
That
about
one's
what
crazy.
we talking about.
That
Companion.
one's kind of crazy.
Her companion. Her is AI. I don't think he was able to interact with this woman physically. I can't remember. I gotta watch it. But her companion Megan is just a doggone horror movie situation. But there's a lot of movies that is geared towards human interaction with android or whatever you want to call these sentinel whatever
you know what?
beings. I don't know
Different
what they
strokes
are,
for
but
different folks. You know what I'm
they out
saying?
there.
If you want your
They out there.
AI Android companion, I
Yeah.
say go for it. Do it. I think that is a more reasonable solution than for you to come into somebody else's life and demand them to settle for less. I refuse to meet your expectations. I want you to lower your standards so that we could be together. No, just go ahead and get your AI robot girlfriend, boyfriend situation. Do that. That's more realistic. That's more fair and reasonable to me.
Yep.
And I just want to insert there just for when somebody watches it. We do know that there is a difference between compromising and lowering expectations. That's two different things,
Yes.
and both can exist in a relationship. You can compromise on some things, but lowering your expectations on your boundaries and your hard stops.
Thank you.
That's what we're talking about. So,
But I don't
so
have any
Farrah,
expectations because I haven't been there yet. It's kind of like
did
trying a
you?
new food. I don't know till
I love your openness, Farrah.
So would you try it? Like,
I
would
would
you try an
definitely.
AI boyfriend?
Hey, if it was put in front of me and I was in the
So
dabbling
Farrah, would
mood,
you
I
say?
can't say I would say no.
Yes,
I guess it would
Farrah.
depend on my mood at that time. what's going on in my life. Do I need some? Like, are they willing to, like, if I'm horny right then and they're right there, or if I'm in a snuggling mood and they're right there, it all depends on your mood at the time. If I'm sitting right there and they're like, you want to snuggle with me, and I'm in a snuggling mood, and they hold me and it feels good, I can't say I would stop it. Or if I was horny and they gave me some good, I can't say I would stop it. Now, if it was off, I'd be like, nah, bro, you didn't, meet my expectations, so we can't continue. But I can't knock it till I try it.
You can set it. It can learn you.
It
What if it
probably
can
would
learn
learn
I
you?
mean,
even
I'm also
faster
experimenting
if
and
it's a
learning.
robot.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah,
What's
AI
going on?
learns.
That I'm okay with. I mean, you do that with the regular humans. So it's all about learning what you like. So
All right. So, on this episode, we talked about quite a few things. We talked first about how technology impacts relationships, and we talked about digital infidelity and about the ethical implications of AI and falling in love with chatbots, what tech-free life looks like, and then we kind of went into more information about having personal relationship with AI and possibly getting an AI boyfriend. In the
you're
comments down
beautiful.
below. In the comments down below, let us know, would you have a relationship with a physical AI being? So if you could get a robot or a chatbot that you could have a physical body with. Also, do you have spaces in your life that you absolutely make completely technology free? Thank you for joining us on another episode of Different Walk Serious Talks. We'll see you next time.